Welcome back to my channel, JussRighteousWaterFlows. Alright y'all, give this video a like and subscribe. Remember, chosen ones and numbers, repeating numbers. Guys, understand, if you see repeating numbers, you probably are a chosen one 9 times out of 10. I'm not gonna front. When I first seen repeating numbers, I just thought it was just a coincidence. I thought it was just like, oh, I'm just seeing numbers. Like, I thought people were just, trying to, just like mess with my mind a little bit. I'm like, they just trying to play a little game, like numbers. Like, come on. But then one day, I think it was like 5 years ago, like maybe 5 or 4 years ago. I was watching. I think I was watching Ralph Smart, somebody like that. Shout out to Ralph Smart too. Like I love his page. I think that was one of the pages that inspired me to make this channel. Like probably like 4 years ago. Long story short, it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a lot of different places. If anybody knows me personally, they know that I'm in music videos. I'm a dance professionally. I dance. I'm underground dancer. I've done a lot of independent work in different areas, and I'm still growing. I'm still growing in different areas. But that's for another video, for another day. But long story short, though, repeating numbers, right? After I seen Rob Smart talk about it, it's like it started to make sense because I always remembered when I was a kid. It was like when I was like in 2nd grade going to 5th grade. It's like that whole season of my life. It's always this time I would go to school, and I remember throughout the years, between a couple of months, I would see the same time over and over again. And I noticed that I would find success, I would find happiness. And for me, during these time periods, during them years, at first, when I first seen it happening to me, I was like, oh, wow, it's got to be God. I was like, maybe this is God. I was saying that to myself when I was younger, but then all of a sudden it just stopped in my life. I think a little bit after the middle of high school, I stopped seeing repeated numbers. I just stopped seeing them numbers repeat so much. At least like it matching up to the good and the bad in my life. So some people will think I sound crazy, which this video is probably not going to be for you. You probably done tuned out already. But long story short, if you know what I'm talking about, then you understand that when you see these numbers, they always matched up to a certain feeling that you had. It's like you'll come back to this joy. It's like you knew something was happening right. You knew something. It's like you was in the right place at the right time. Your intuition was telling you. And it always happened when I completed something. It's like when I got to class, and I got to class I always wanted to be in. Like it was gym. Like I knew I always get to play soccer. I get to play the sport I want to play. I get to see the friends I like to be around, opposed to the other classes where it's like I'm like, okay, I have to do the work and I have to do all this stuff like where I didn't get to really have fun with my friends. But I could say that during this time period was the first time I started to see repeating numbers, and these numbers were usually like times, like 314. It's like every time I seen 314, it was something about that time. It just keep popping up. I'm like, why am I seeing 314 a lot? It's like right when I'm leaving school, I'm going to the after school program. 314, 314. I'm like excited about seeing 314 again. I'm like, I know what time it is. 314. It's like I always knew. But then after that, I think the next time I started to see numbers in my life was a lot further. More so like after I graduated high school and I was going to college. When I first started college, that was a time period where I just seen repeated numbers, and I started to see like 222, 1111. I started to see the time was 111. I'm like, why is it 111? Like I just keep seeing like, what does that mean? And one day I just looked it up. When I looked it up, boom, next thing you know, I come across Ralph Smart. You know what I'm saying? I come across different angel numbers and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, what does these numbers mean? And I looked up angel numbers, and then it started to explain what angel numbers were. I'm like, wow. So these numbers actually have meanings to them. And this was around the first time I started to really look And it wasn't only just Ralph Smart that was up that was talking about these numbers, but there was actually a lot of other people talking about angel numbers and talking about repeating numbers that pop up in life. So as I started to notice throughout the years, ever since then, all the way to now I'm 30, and I could say that I see these numbers all the time, especially in my life when things start to pick up. When God is sending me signs and messages to make certain decisions, certain moves, it's like God is telling you, you have to make a certain move. God is trying to show you to do something through these repeating numbers. And the thing about it is, if you don't pay attention to these numbers in your life, what I've learned is you could miss the call. I even got even deeper with it, to the point where it's like, it's so serious, to the point it's like God is literally calling you. Think about it. It's numbers. That's God giving you a sign to answer that call. It's something God needs you to do that moment, that day, and the situation you're going through. And if you're not focused, you'll miss that whole energy that God is trying to bring into your life. God needs you to do something. God's trying to get you to do something. And when you do the right thing, there's a certain numbers that's going to pop up. And they mean something. Trust me. It's like the world, life, the universe that God created, right? You know, it's trying to show you that you're making the right decision, or it might even be telling you you're making the wrong decision. But that all depends on how the numbers correspond to you and your individual path and your individual purpose. You know, you don't want to overdo it and think too much about the numbers and not understand to think about how you feel when you see these numbers. What's going on in your life? You know, when you're going through a tough time in your life and you're confused and you're trying to just understand, I would say pray. When you see them numbers, always think about what you're going through and think about if it's something that God is trying to tell you. Either he's trying to teach you a lesson, or he's trying to get you to take action. He's trying to get you to recognize something going on either outside around you or something going on inside of you. Trust. God needs you to answer a call. Something he needs you to do. It's either inside work or outside work, but there's a call that you have to answer. You know, it's kind of ironic that it has to do with numbers, obviously, because numbers is how we make phone calls. This is why I tell people, God really does work through life around you. God is everyday life. Some people say God. I say God in life. Sometimes I put God and life right next to each other when I'm having a conversation with some people in the back of my mind. I'm saying life and I'm saying God in my subconscious mind, because God gave us life. And you know, and God is everything. He created everything. You know, so hey, you know, hopefully that registers, hopefully that resonates. Like, that's my take on repeated numbers and how God uses them to help us understand our purpose in life, to help us to understand when we need to make certain decisions, how we need to think during the process, to remind us that he's guiding us along the way, getting us to where we need to be in our lives. You know, so for me, repeated numbers is definitely something that helped me on my journey in my life. I see them all the time now, especially as I'm getting older. More and more, I see 111, 222, 333. I see 444. You know, every time I see 444, it's like I feel like this warm feeling. I feel like this sense of direction. Every time I see 333, I feel comfort. I feel like I'm being supported. I'm being watched over. You know, every time I see 111 or 1111, 1111, I see that, and it's like it's always something. It's like the beginning. You know what I mean? It's always something to pay attention to when I see them numbers. You see 111 or 11111, just know that that's just God trying to get you to pay attention. Look, something's getting started in this area. You know, this is the beginning of something. God is trying to show you something. You know, very important to pay attention to these numbers. I begin to see 999, and come to find out, 9 is my life path number. You know, I'm not really into this stuff, but I just I like to learn. I'm a little bit of a nerd. Like I like to read and learn. I've read about the life path numbers, and I think the irony behind it is so funny. You know, so yeah, like it's just deep, because when I see 999 these days, it pops up. I haven't seen 999 until I say the middle of last year. And I was saying to myself, like, wow, like I keep seeing this number, and I've never seen this number so rapidly in my life. Especially 888 this year too. This whole year I just see 888, 888, 888. Like that's all I'm seeing this year. I'm looking around. I never noticed this number so much in my life. You know, but I just keep seeing it, and I'm like, I feel like God is trying to tell me some things in my life. You know, He's trying to show me something in my life with these numbers that's popping up, because they pop up way more rapidly. You know, so pay attention, chosen ones. You know, if numbers correspond to the way that life is moving around you, I say pay attention to them. Write down how you're feeling when you see these numbers. Trust me, and it's gonna make a big difference in your life. So hopefully that resonates. Peace and love. Just righteous water flows. Give the video a like and subscribe if it resonated with you and it helped you on your path and this walk with God, guys. I hope that you have a blessed day. Peace and love. I gotta go. See you later.